Hi DIY friends, and welcome back to our 100-year-old home's bathroom renovation. This is part 2 and the final part to this bathroom renovation. I can't wait to show you how this bathroom turns out at the end of this video, so make sure you watch all the way through. If you missed part 1, I will link it down below for you. When you're renovating 100-year-old houses, you find some interesting things, which we did, so if you want to see that, make sure to go back and watch that video. But I do want to give you a before so you can see the crazy state of this old bathroom. We've come a long way since then, but we still have a ways to go. First thing up is tile. So this is pretty much where we left off in the part 1 video. We installed a new ceiling, shiplap, reconfigured this shelving unit that used to be a closet, installed the concrete board, and now, like I said, it's finally time to tile. So this is the tile that we chose. It's a combination of these 3 very subtle cream colored tiles. They're all in the same box. We got it from Floor and Decor. I will link it down below for you. And since we installed the shiplap vertically, I also wanted to go ahead and install this tile vertically as well. And then it was a big happy yay moment when we got that last little tile installed, fitted, custom size, stuck it in there, finally got these 3 walls tiled, and then it was finally time to grout. So we decided to go with a light gray grout. I'm pretty sure it's called pewter. So it definitely goes on a lot darker than what it actually dries. So you'll see the finished look here in just a minute. But Brian and I just kind of tag teamed this and did small sections until we could come back and start wiping some of that down until we had a little glitch. All right, so our power just went out. That was terrible timing as we're in the middle of grouting. Brian just fired up the generator so we don't lose a good sized bucket of grout here. And we still have all of this yet to wipe down, but this is looking good so far. Up here is all grouted. Time to work down there, and then we still have this whole wall over here to go, and Brian's working over here on this side, working his way down. You can hear Honey crying down there because the power went out, so now I'm gonna have to go cuddle her too. Oh my goodness, we cannot catch a break. We were able to finish this all up with the help of Brian getting that generator going, and then we ran an extension cord up to have some work lights to get this job done, and we powered through, and we're so glad we were able to get this done in a day because now this wall is finally done being tiled and grouted, and it looks so good. Then it was on to working on these floors. So they also got the concrete board, as we are also going to be tiling these floors as well. Little Honey back there making sure to do her check-in. And we decided to go with these hexagon shaped tiles, and we weren't sure how we wanted to lay them out. So this was option 1, and then we laid a little section out for option 2, and that is what we ultimately went with. And then Brian got out the laser level to make sure he found the center of the room so we could work from the back forward and also make sure everything was straight and lined up. So Brian went ahead and pretty much laid all of these floors because I was working, so it was fun to come in and check in on him and see his progress. This is a really good start to this project. And then again, some more progress. And then I also wanted to make sure that he caught laying those last 2 tiles in. And then here is the tiles all set. We waited a day until it was time to come back in and to start grouting. since he did all the work laying the tiles, I went ahead and grouted this whole floor, which again, like I said, is kind of therapeutic for me. So I enjoyed this process. It was a little bit difficult getting behind some of the pipes in the floors and the holes in the floors, but you can see the grout just really does a great job filling it all in, and then we'll dry a little bit lighter. We use the exact same color pewter grout that we did for the shower walls. All right, so the tile is finally officially done. This took way longer than we ever expected, but it was definitely worth the effort. It turned out fabulous, just exactly as I was hoping. And I always feel like tile just gives a whole elevated look to a space, makes it look a little bit more high end, adds some value. And so now that we have the tile in, it's time to finally start putting the fixtures back in here. So Brian was able to get the toilet installed. We finally have a working toilet again in here. And next up is the bathtub. So this is actually the original cast iron clawfoot tub, and it was really important to me to keep this element of the bathroom. And I have a story and reason why that I'll share with you at the end of this video, so hang tight for that. But I just want to give you a before look of this tub before you see it all finished. And we did use this finishing kit in white to give it more of a newer look, update the look. And we also wanted to redo the clawfoot feet. So we just needed to do two. You're only going to see two on one side. So I cleaned those up really, really well. And then I'm using a rub and buff to make them gold. So I started with a cloth and rubbed it and literally buffed it into the feet, but it took a lot of it off too. So instead of doing it that way, I decided to use a paintbrush, which did a lot better of a job applying this in a little bit more of a thicker fashion, and then I let it dry and came back in and did a second coat as well. All right, so I used the antique gold rub and buff, and I really love the look of this. This is after 2 coats and it's dried. Loved it, but it really didn't match the other metal fixtures that are in the room. So I came back over and did 2 coats of the gold leaf rub and buff, which is on the right side, versus the antique gold that's on the left side. Either one's really pretty, but I just really wanted it all to match and be cohesive. So I went ahead and just used that gold leafing, and you'll see me use it again to help bring this whole look together and make everything match. Then it was time to bring this beast of a bathtub back into the room, and oh my goodness, this thing is so heavy, especially with the feet on it and all the fixtures on it. Brian had the genius idea of grabbing out the floor jack and moving it into place because we couldn't get on the front and the back side of it to lift it and move it, and we didn't want to scratch our brand new tile floor. So that worked out perfectly. He was able to line up all the pipes and get those installed, and look at our honey. She is such a great assistant, isn't she? And then this is where that rub and buff comes in handy again. The pipes that we purchased for the bathtub were gold to match, but the hoses and the plastic ring that came with it, all that kind of stuff, was silver. So we just took that rub and buff and painted all that and made it all match, and you'll see it here in just a little bit. The other heavy item and last heavy item to come into the room was the vanity, which has a marble top. So it was another beast to get up those stairs. So many trips up and down those stairs. But beautiful, and the gold faucet and handles just look so nice in the space and match those feet on our bathtub. Once that was up, we were finally able to add the floor trim in here, so installed that, and then also painted it the same color as the walls, so it all just blended together. And then for the fun stuff, installation of some of the accessories. So this is installing the mirror. It had like lined up holes on the back. So my trick is to use some painter's tape, mark the back of the mirror, put that tape on the wall, and then I can center it and make sure that the holes and the screws and everything line up perfectly the first try. Got our new mirror installed. We also installed this towel bar, which I will link down below for you. A lot of the elements here, if you can believe it or not, are from Target, so really, really affordable. This is a Hearth and Home towel bar. So pretty, has that pretty brass color. This picture is from Target, the perfect size to fit over this toilet, as we have obviously those slanted ceilings in this small bathroom in this old house. So this worked perfectly for a little accent above the toilet. So I don't know if I mentioned, but this is our bathroom for our kiddos. We have 3 of them, so we have lots of towels, need lots of space for hanging towels. So we found this at Target too, and made room for more towels in the space. Of course, we need a toilet paper holder, so got that installed, and I've always wanted to do the little triangle on the toilet paper in the front, and then you press it up against the wet faucet. Very classy. Took the opportunity to finally do that in here. Just something fun. And then we also installed new knobs on the vanity, doing the gold and black metal combination. And then you know me, I had to also do a fun little craft project thrown in there too. All right, so we are gonna do a little craft project for this bathroom, put a little custom touch on it. So I found these great hanging frames on Amazon. Obviously they open up. And we are going to put some of these dried pressed greenery into them. I'm hoping to do some ferns, but I found all of this on Amazon, so I'll make sure to link it down below for you. So let's get to creating. So this set actually came with a ton of different options. So I had fun just kind of playing around with it, using different ones, doing a combination of different ones, or just trying all the same, and moving them around until I was kind of happy with the combination and set that I created. And then I also needed to come in with some super glue, as when you close these frames, it doesn't get tight enough in there to hold them in place. So I just used a couple dots of some super glue, put those onto the sprigs of greenery, and then went ahead and closed those up. And then I knew they were good and secure and they're not going to fall down or slide around in there. And then just a couple really tiny nails into the shiplap and hung those from them. Just a sweet little custom element for this space. Now for the shower part of this bathtub. We had to wait for an extension rod to also come, as the original kit did not come with one that made it tall enough. So there was a little bit of waiting involved with this. And then we also had to custom cut down this shower curtain rod, as the space is really tight. So this took a couple days actually. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but actually it was a bear. But we are happy to say it's all up and working and not leaking, knock on wood, and we hope that it stays that way. Then we can finally start adding the rest of the accessories. My favorite part, all the things that make it homey. So some cute little jars for cotton balls and Q-tips, some baskets. If you watched the first video, you know we actually built this shelving unit to fit these baskets. We also have a space now for towels instead of having to use underneath the sink. And then I'll just kind of let you watch as I add all the fun little trinkets that I curated to finish off the space, and I will make sure to link as much as I can down in the description box below. So now let me take you back to the before, if you can believe that it started to look like this. We think it was probably updated back in the early 90s. Maybe you saw that nice little baseboard heater in there. And now obviously updated and finished in a more modern but timeless look. We wanted it to be warm but still open, as it is a small bathroom. So we kept kind of that combination of the warm tones of the metal, the warmer tone of the paint, but then keeping it bright with the accents of the white tile, vanity, toilet, and of course that gorgeous new updated bathtub. So now for my story about this bathtub. So I was actually working on the front porch, refinishing the decking, and a woman pulled up and she got out of her car and she said that she had actually raised her children in this house and told me some great stories and actually asked if this clawfoot tub was still up in this bathroom. So I reassured her that we still had this bathtub, and from that moment on, I knew that this just needed to stay with this house. It is part of its history. I feel like we can add as much new to an old house that we want, but we also should keep as much of that history intact that we can. So I hope that this bathtub stays around for 100 more years. Maybe it'll get a couple more updates, but I think the mixture of the new elements with the fixtures, updating the feet, still really keep the integrity of this gorgeous old bathtub and still gives it life all these years later. If you have stuck around to the end of this video, leave me a bathtub emoji down in the comments below. I appreciate you so much for going on this journey with me and my family. It's been such an up and down roller coaster, updating this bathroom from old and ugly to now functional and also stylish at the same time. If you missed the first part of this renovation, I'll have that video popping up on your screen along with a playlist to all the other renovations that we've made to our 100-year-old home up to this point. We are not done yet. We still have a few things to do in this house, so I hope you will subscribe so you can stick around and join us for more of these updates. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a creative day.